my Catholic friend, defended Mary, Queen of Heaven from Revelation 12, 1 through 5, to further explain why his explanation had such a big impact on me. You have to kind of know something about my personal history and about Dutch Calvinism and how it is different from other strands of Protestantism. So the Dutch Calvinist tradition tends not to be very big on end-time speculation. We tend to be what's called amillennial. It's like, it's basically, there's nothing we can be too dramatic about it. Like we're gonna go through a persecution, and then Jesus is gonna come back. Okay, and beyond that, we're probably not gonna know until it happens. And so there's not, you don't find Dutch Calvinists, preaching crusades where Jesus is going to come back in 5 years or stuff like that. In our travels as a military family, it was often the case that, say, the military chapel was being run by a pastor from a different denomination that was difficult to deal with. And so we would go off the military base and worship with the Baptists. Okay, there's always a Baptist church everywhere, and a lot of them are Bible believing, and so we could get along with them. We're Calvinists, we baptize infants, but these Baptists, believe the Bible and have good preaching. So there are many times when we worshiped with Baptist church, and Baptists tend to be much bigger into end time speculation. And so I can remember as maybe about age 12, sitting in Sunday school at the Conservative Baptist Church where we were attending at the time in Connecticut, and having the Sunday school teacher go through this elaborate schema of these multiple second comings of Jesus and the white throne judgment and the Russian invasion of everyone. And this is all, supposed to be interpretation of the book of Revelation. So this was the lesson for the day. So being the naive and forthright child that I was, I raised my hand after the teacher had presented this, and I said, I just think there's going to be a persecution and Jesus is going to come back. And the teacher looks at me, says, class dismissed. So everybody leaves. Bergsman, I want you to stay. So I stay after class. The teacher looks at me and says, where do you get these crazy ideas? And I wanted to say, strange you asked, where do you get your crazy ideas? Anyway, so we had this very simple eschatology. Christ has died, Christ has risen, Christ will come again. That was pretty much our eschatology as Dutch Calvinists. So now, getting back to this, the year 2000, when I'm sitting at the food court at Notre Dame, and I'm having this discussion, and my Catholic friend has just made a very reasonable exegesis of Revelation 12 and suggested that it has a Marian dimension. I'm like, yeah, from point to point to point, I follow the logic at every step, and that makes sense. And that's really hard to rule out the possibility that that's referring to the Blessed Mother right there. And one of the reasons why that made such a profound impact on me was that I had been through all these Baptist Sunday school courses where we had the charts on the walls and the centerfold fold-outs with all the multiple comings and rising of the saints and coming back with the saints and all the dispensations and everything. And that had always seemed so far-fetched to me, these elaborate Baptist eschatologies. But my dad always told me, well, give them the benefit of the doubt, Who knows? Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Just be agnostic about it. Give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I have always given my Baptist brothers and sisters the benefit of the doubt with their crazy schemas of the end times. Here's my Catholic brother giving me not a crazy schema, but a very tightly argued interpretation of Revelation 12 that points to Mary as Queen of Heaven. How can I not give him the benefit of the doubt? And that again was a major opening for me, where I really began to listen rather than just fight polemically against a Catholic interpretation of Scripture.